Hospitalized murder suspect Gailey Khan to appear in court next week. News source Guyana. 47-year-old businessman Gailey Khan, who owns a security service, remains hospitalized with injuries sustained from a self-inflicted gunshot wound following the fatal shooting of his ex-girlfriend in her West Demerara home. Khan underwent surgery at Georgetown Hospital to treat the gunshot wound to his head, during which several bullet fragments were removed. Reports indicate that he has been alert since the surgery and has even requested a psychiatric evaluation. Police sources have informed that Khan is expected to be discharged from the hospital early next week and will subsequently appear in court to face murder charges for the shooting death of his ex-girlfriend, Marissa Beat. The 30-year-old woman was shot in her home moments after Khan requested to talk with her regarding their recently ended relationship. She had reportedly broken up with him weeks prior and was attempting to move on with her life. According to her mother, who was at the back of the house during the incident, she heard gunshots and rushed to the front, where she encountered Khan standing over her daughter's bloodied body, still holding the firearm. The mother recounted that when she approached Khan, he pushed her down and fired another shot before attempting to take his own life. Marissa Beat was rushed to West Demerara Hospital but was pronounced dead upon arrival. Following the incident, Khan was arrested and initially taken to the same hospital before being transferred to Georgetown Hospital for further treatment. It is worth noting that Khan was deported from the United States last year after serving time for drug trafficking. Upon returning to Guyana, he resumed operations of his security company and assumed the role of secretary for the Guyana Association of Private Security Organizations. RSS investigators arrive in Guyana to probe police killings in Linden. News source Guyana. A team of investigators from the Regional Security System, RSS, is expected to arrive in Guyana this afternoon to lead the investigation into the police killings of 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters and 32-year-old Kian Fogene. Both men were shot dead in Linden earlier this week. Peters lost his life on Monday night after being chased down and shot by a police sergeant, while Fogene was killed the following day by a police officer during protests over Peters' death. Post-mortem examinations conducted today determined that both men died from single gunshot wounds. Peters was shot in the abdomen, and Fogene was shot in the head. The examinations were carried out this morning after their relatives identified the bodies. The relatives were also asked to provide statements to the Police Office of Professional Responsibility, OPR, which has been handling the initial investigations. 3 investigators from the RSS are arriving to interview eyewitnesses, visit crime scenes, and review the evidence gathered so far as part of their investigation expected to take place over the weekend. The police killings have deeply unsettled the Linden community, which experienced similar incidents back in 2012. Following a day of protests, the community has returned to a semblance of normalcy as the families of the deceased begin preparations for final services. However, the anger and shock over the incidents remain palpable among residents. The 2 police officers involved in the shootings are currently under close arrest. The circumstances surrounding Ronaldo Peters' death were captured on camera, showing him with friends when a plainclothes police sergeant arrived in a heavily tinted, unmarked minibus, chasing Peters with his weapon drawn. Moments later, Peters was shot, and the sergeant was seen dragging him out of the yard and into the back of the minibus, which sped off. Reports indicate that Peters was not immediately taken to the hospital, as the vehicle drove around before crossing the bridge to a nearby facility where he was pronounced dead. The following day, during widespread protests, Kian Fogene was walking home near one of the protest sites when police opened fire with live ammunition, striking him in the head. He was declared dead upon arrival at the hospital. Local leaders in Linden are calling for an examination of the police's attitude toward residents. The mayor of Linden highlighted that both officers involved in the shootings had prior complaints against them, leading to their transfer out of the town, only for them to be reassigned back to the area. Family members of the deceased men are demanding justice, with the community standing firmly by their side. Tricia Campbell charged with unlawful wounding. Trisha Campbell, a 23-year-old unemployed female Guyanese of mixed ancestry, residing in Onderneming Sand Pit, Essequibo Coast, has been charged with the offense of unlawful wounding against Javon John, a 25-year-old male Guyanese of Amerindian descent from Red Village, Onderneming Sand Pit, Essequibo Coast. The incident occurred on Tuesday, April 8, 2025. The charge was filed under Section 50 of the Criminal Law, Offences, Act, Chapter 801. The case was heard at the Suddy Magistrates Court on Thursday, April 10, 2025, before Her Worship, Ms. Tamika Clark, via Zoom, where the charge was read to the accused. She was not required to enter a plea. Bail has been granted in the amount of GYD $250,000, with the condition that the defendant maintains a distance of 50 feet from the victim pending the trial. The case has been adjourned to May 8, 2025. Premchand Manman charged with driving under the influence. Premchand Manman, a 42-year-old male Guyanese of East Indian descent and a taxi driver residing at Lot 44 Bush Lot, Essequibo Coast, has been charged with the offense of driving a motor vehicle while exceeding the prescribed breath alcohol level. This charge is in violation of Section 39A, 1 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 51:02, as amended by the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Act 17/2022. The incident occurred on Monday, March 10, 2025, on the Anna Regina Public Road, Essequibo Coast. The case was heard at the Suddy Magistrates Court on Tuesday, April 8, 2025, before Her Worship, Ms. Tamika Clark. During the proceedings, the defendant changed his plea from not guilty to guilty and was subsequently fined GYD $150,000, or in default, 3 months of imprisonment. Woman dies after rescuing son in Burbis River boat mishap. Kyandra Ornella Lindy, a 30-year-old woman, tragically lost her life after helping to rescue her 5-year-old son following a boat accident on the Burbis River early Friday morning. Lindy worked as a cook at Leisure Inn and resided on Main Street, East Kange, Burbis. Her brother, Kessian Omar Dion Lindy, shared with reporters that she had left home on Thursday for a trip up the upper Burbis River, planning to return by passenger boat on Friday. Kessian recounted that while making her return journey between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., the boat encountered an obstruction and capsized. She suffocated, she barely managed to push her son out, he explained. Fortunately, other passengers were rescued by a passing vessel. Some of those rescued sustained injuries and were promptly taken to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital for treatment. Tragically, Lindy was pronounced dead at the hospital. Kessian revealed, her son said his mother pushed him out of the boat and told him, "You can't die with me." When she tried to come out, she was trapped and died in the boat. Kessian also mentioned that his nephew sustained only minor injuries to his hand. An investigation into the incident is currently underway. Tragic accident. Pedal cyclist killed in collision with truck on Goad Intent Public Road. Big Smith News Watch. A 50-year-old pedal cyclist was fatally injured on Friday afternoon after being run over by a truck along the Goad Intent Public Road, West Bank Demerara. The victim, identified as Harry Nareen, a laborer from Goad Intent, was reportedly riding alongside the truck around 3 p.m. when the handlebar of his bicycle became entangled with a container being transported by the truck. This entanglement caused him to lose control and fall onto the roadway, where he was subsequently crushed by one of the truck's rear wheels. Nareen was pronounced dead at the scene. His body was later transported to the Ezekiel Funeral Home. Authorities are currently questioning the truck driver as investigations into the incident continue. Trio wanted for murder of Albuistown man. Kaider News. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, announced on Wednesday that they have issued wanted bulletins for 3 men accused of murdering Chandradio Kumar Singh during an armed robbery on Hill Street, Albuistown, on March 31, 2025. Singh succumbed to his injuries on April 1, 2025, after undergoing surgery following the incident. The 3 wanted suspects have been identified as Ryan Goodluck, 31, of Lot 928 Hurst Telling, East Bank Demerara, EBD. Tyrese Mullen, 21, of Lot 25 Hill Street, Albuistown, and Damian Bob, 22, of Bear Route, Bachelor's Adventure, East Coast Demerara, ECD. The police are urging anyone with information regarding their whereabouts to contact law enforcement or the nearest police station. According to police reports, Singh, who resided at Lot 26 Hill Street, was shot and robbed of his gold chains and an undisclosed amount of cash. Eyewitness accounts indicate that the assailants also took his wallet, which contained $40,000. The incident reportedly occurred around 10:30 a.m. while Singh was playing cards in front of a shop with two friends, Riaz Ali and Mark Sudu. Police state that two men, armed with handguns and wearing surgical masks, approached them on a blue and black motorcycle. An eyewitness, who was at the shop holding a baby, recalled the moment the gunmen arrived. They came from the Sussex Street side, she stated, adding that she froze when the gunshot rang out and needed assistance from others to calm down. Police reported that the suspects dismounted the motorcycle and pointed their firearms at Singh before firing a shot into the air. Seeing the danger, Singh attempted to flee through an alley leading to his home, but the gunmen pursued him and continued shooting. Eyewitnesses relayed that Singh collapsed before reaching his house, noting, "If you see blood," describing the severity of his injuries. Police reported that Singh was shot twice in both thighs above his knees. The assailants then reportedly stole his valuables, including gold chains from around his neck and a wallet hidden in his clothes. After the suspects fled, neighbors rushed to assist Singh. Video footage recorded by bystanders showed them carrying him out of the alley and placing him into the back of a Toyota Spacio car, bloodied and in need of urgent medical attention. Relatives of Singh were not present during the shooting but rushed to the hospital upon receiving the news. Unfortunately, they were informed by doctors that Singh did not survive the emergency surgery. "I went and saw him. He went for surgery and they said he didn't make it," a female relative told Qaeda News on Tuesday. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. Groundbreaking eye surgery for 2-month-old baby marks U.S. medical mission in Guyana. Newsroom. A 2-month-old baby in Guyana can now see thanks to a groundbreaking eye surgery performed during the U.S. Lesser Antilles Medical Assistance Team, LAMET, 2025 mission. This marks a significant achievement in the medical collaboration between Guyana and the United States. President Dr. Irfan Ali, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, announced the successful surgery at a luncheon hosted by State House on Friday. "This is one of the most specialized eye surgeries that will now allow this 2-month-old to see. It was groundbreaking and it was successful," he stated. This mission is the second LAMAT initiative in Guyana and represents the first military-to-military medical engagement between the two nations. During the 2-week program, LAMAT delivered critical healthcare and shared knowledge with local medical professionals to strengthen Guyana's healthcare system. President Ali emphasized that the mission aimed not only to deliver care but also to leave behind valuable knowledge. "What makes this mission even more meaningful is that it touches the lives of ordinary Guyanese in a very practical way," he added, commending the team's exceptional service. He described their presence as a symbol of trust, partnership, and continuity between the United States and Guyana. Major General Melissa A. Coburn, commander of the 22nd Air Force, highlighted the impressive results of the mission. LAMAT has delivered critical care across multiple specialties in Guyana and the Caribbean region. Over 6,300 patients were treated, more than 480 surgical operations were performed, and 91 pieces of critical medical equipment were serviced and repaired, she reported. The mission also provided over 13,000 hours of redeployment training for U.S. medics, along with 422 hours of knowledge exchanges on various medical topics. Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier Omar Khan emphasized the significance of the LAMAT mission, noting that while previous engagements in other fields have been important, this medical initiative stands out. He further mentioned that 3 Guyanese were part of the LAMAT team, reinforcing the collaborative effort toward a better world, beginning in the region and within Guyana. President Ali acknowledged the evolving defense partnership between Guyana and the United States, highlighting the impact of this recent medical army mission. Housing Ministry continues efforts to address backlog of house lot applications in Region 4. News source Guyana. The Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHNPA, is set to allocate over 1,600 house lots in Chateau Margaux, Felicity, Success, and Le Res Souvenir on the east coast of Demerara over the next 2 days, aiming to tackle an ongoing backlog of applications. During the ministry's Dream Realized event held today at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, Minister within the Ministry of Housing, Susan Rodriguez, announced that the allocations will benefit individuals who submitted applications prior to 2019. These are people who have been waiting for some time, and this aligns with our commitment to reducing the backlog in the system, she stated. Minister Rodriguez highlighted that Region 4 is the largest and most in-demand area, currently having approximately 48,000 pending applicants, despite over 41,000 allocations made in the last 5 years. Efforts are also being made to clear application backlogs in other regions, with ongoing work in smaller areas where new developments are being opened up. The ministry is now facing a new challenge, as its allocation target for this year has been increased from 10,000 to 25,000 house lots. We view the housing sector and the housing program as significant equalizers, serving as a vehicle for creating generational wealth. Anyone who has become wealthy anywhere in the world owns real estate, as these assets appreciate over time, the minister conveyed to the LADs. Meanwhile, Housing Minister Colin Kroll announced that land development is progressing to facilitate home construction for LADs. He noted that the volume of work in some areas is substantial due to the development of new housing schemes. Since we took office, we have developed 86 new housing areas, including 26 on the east coast of Demerara. Of the 37 new housing areas in Region 4, we have utilized 9,000 acres of land. The government had to make tough decisions regarding some of this land, as it was originally designated for the Ministry of Agriculture, Minister Kroll explained. He also emphasized a commitment to expedite the processing of land titling. Over the next 2 days, hundreds of titles will be awarded to individuals who were previously allotted land. Prison officers urged to avoid excessive force and adhere to standard operating procedures. Newsroom. Prison officers in Guyana are being urged to change their culture and mindset to transform the environment within local prisons. During a recent address, the Director of Prisons, Nicklon Elliott, emphasized the importance of adhering to standard operating procedures, SOPs, and regulations while carrying out their duties. Elliott stated, "You are the driving force for the enforcement of SOPs. You are expected to set the right standard at your level and ensure that those under your supervision understand what is required." The director made his remarks during the opening of the Guyana Prison Service Chief Officers Conference, held at the Guyana National Racquet Center on Wolford Avenue, Georgetown, which will run from April 11th to 12th. The conference aims to bring together senior officers to review achievements, address operational challenges, and plan for the upcoming year. Reflecting on issues such as inmate escapes and prisoner-on-prisoner attacks, Elliott attributed these problems to a lack of enforcement of SOPs. You need to be the enforcer of the SOPs and the regulations. Once you do that, I am almost certain that despite the challenges with staff shortages, we will see improvements in the organization, he stated. The local prison population currently exceeds 2,200 inmates. Minister of Home Affairs, Robson Ben, also addressed the conference, noting that the prison service reflects society as a whole. He urged officers to adopt a rehabilitative approach towards inmates. We are not operating a cruelty system, we are running a rehabilitation system. The men and women in prisons were not born bad, they were not born as criminals, he remarked. Ben emphasized the need for a more empathetic societal response to criminal behavior. The response to bad behavior and the necessity of incarceration must be one that is more understanding and less harsh, he asserted. Acknowledging the significant and tedious nature of prison work, the minister stressed the importance of preparing inmates for reintegration into society upon their release. Don't beat them. Don't create situations that require the use of force. Use batons, pepper spray, or tasers appropriately. If a firearm must be used, aim for the leg or to disarm, but we are not here to kill people, Ben concluded.